Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about my project that I decided to make. So basically it is a Java-based text adventure game where it's more like an exploration game where you get to explore various different rooms from various different things. Keep in mind that this is just a test, so not everything is implemented as I thought it would go. So here I'm going to start running it. So as you could see, here is the introduction where basically you're on vacation and you're just traveling through space and you're going to have a great time. So there are various different kinds of things that you could do here that I have implemented. For example, you could talk to people by saying call somebody, which is basically saying, oh, they will respond with a different kind of dialogue. You can pick up items. You can drop items. And you can basically take different exits like this by just saying go north. So here are the list of commands if you really need help on figuring out how this works. Just ignore this. So basically here are all of the commands that you have that you're going to need in order to play the game. We'll be talking about beamers, which is basically one thing that I implemented in a game. Basically, it's like when a transporter item. I'll explain to you on the way. So let's go north. There's a lot of stuff you can do with these stuff. Now we'll take a golden coin and charge it. This will memorize everything that is in the room and will keep it there until you want to fire it and you want to have an easy way to transport back. Now let's go to an exit. Oof. Go west. We're going to see. We're at the restaurant here. Let's go take a pizza because I also want to show you the food. Now, first, let's see what happens when we try to charge a pizza. We can't charge it. And let's see what happens when we try to eat the coin. Nothing happens. Now, since the coin is a beamer, what happens if we fire the coin? You will be here in the hallway. And basically, it takes you back to where you first charged this coin. So here we're going to look at some parts of the code for the game that I've made or demonstrated. So here are basically the process commands where it takes this command that you would input over here, and basically what it would do is it would check to see if any of the commands that you put in would equal any of these cases. And as you can see, with each case, there are different methods that are called upon, just like the case print help would print the help or something like that. So today we're going to go through a couple of these methods. In this case go, and the beamer methods, which would be case charge and case fire. So in go room, if you picked case go, first it would check to see which room we are in. So it will call the player dot get current room. It will call this method, and it would return here the room that we're in. So basically, first it'll check if we actually told which direction that we had. So let's say we said go north. So we have a second word, and it'll just skip all this. Then the strict direction would basically be the command, the second word of the command that we had. That's what it'll get. So the room next room would be basically the room that we're trying to get in. So if it fulfills this condition, which is basically our teleporter room, then the next room would be the teleport method, and it would call the teleport method, which is basically taking a string of different rooms that are inside, and it would teleport there. The player would then set the current room to that next room that we teleported and would print whatever the thing is. Otherwise, we would just go to the direction, which would call out this method, which is basically similar to the teleport method, which is saying if there is no exit, then it would tell you so. Otherwise, we would just basically get the room. Okay, so the next one has to do with the beamer item. So we have the charge command and the fire command. So these are just basically calling the items that we have. So the real thing is here. So first, it'll return a string whether or not you actually have an item that can be charged or a beamer. So first, we'll check if the item is a beamer item. So here we would say beamer B would equal beamer I, which is basically if we could be able to turn it into a beamer, then basically the item becomes a beamer. And you would charge this, and then you would charge the current room. Now here, when we do this, when you charge a room, basically it will set the current room that it memorizes to the room that we just said. So now it will have a room or a history in mind. So keep that in mind when we do this. Now when we fire it, so let's say that we managed to get ourselves lost, or we got ourselves in like a trap, there's no way to get out, then basically we could be able to use our item and fire. So what we do here is first we'll check if the item is a beamer, and if it is, then we get to be able to charge it. Next, we have to make sure that the beamer actually has a room stored in it already or charged. So if it's not charged, then basically then nothing really happens. But if it is charged, which basically is what this means, then we would set the current room to b.fire. So basically, if the get room is not null, then we fire it. And then it'll make sure that there's like no more things, so we'll just return the room. So yeah, that is my project. Thank you all for doing this with me.